What's going on, you guys? Jay here and welcome back to the channel. So I hope you've had nice weekends wherever you've been on planet Earth, and I hope you've managed to avoid all of the drama that seems to be unfolding on chain over relatively simple issues that have rather simple solutions in hand. We're going to leave everybody else to iron out those kinks, and we're not going to get involved in all of these chain politics and the pushing and the pulling. Instead, we're going to continue providing solutions. We're going to continue developing. We're going to continue deploying, and we're going to continue pushing the LUNC blockchain. I've been dropping hints over the weekends, and I was in a space where I actually outright announced that, yes, we are in fact dropping LUNCDash mobile app, and it's going to be available on Play Store to begin with, and then hopefully around a month later that will roll out on Apple Store as well. And this is a substantial move. This is what the chain really requires in its current circumstances. We're in a situation where TFL is in fact going to be shutting everything down, and LUNCDash mobile will in fact replace exactly what has been removed. Something that I want the LUNC community to understand is we didn't build Cosmos Dash mobile. We didn't build Luna Dash mobile. We built LUNC Dash mobile for the LUNC community and the LUNC chain specifically. And that is what I think the blockchain really needs right now. It needs results, it needs actionable events, it needs people that are willing to go out and take their role as a validator seriously on chain and utilize their resources correctly. And as I've been saying recently, that's exactly what we've been doing. When we think about the idea of LUNC having its own dedicated native mobile app, it's something that we wanted for a long time. So from my perspective, it's very bullish, but honestly, the change that could be happening in regards to the burn tax is going to be substantial. And I really do think it's going to be a game changer for this blockchain. When we look at people like White Whale and Backbone Labs, their simple answer when asked to come over to the LUNC chain is the tax system doesn't work in a manner that benefits them, and it's not beneficial for them to come over to the blockchain because you've got double taxation, you've got all sorts of different things that come into play with the burn tax. So the solution itself is rather simple, and discussing it to begin with Strafe was rather enlightening, but again, it has profound implications on our ecosystem, and I want to break things down again for everybody and for those that might not understand why this is so beneficial for the Luna Classic blockchain. First, the tax is going to be deducted when the funds reach the recipient's wallet. This means the sender no longer has to worry about the additional costs when sending LUNC. It's going to simplify absolutely everything from user to user transactions to even those more complex DApp interactions. Secondly, if a DApp still prefers to have the sender cover the tax, that option's actually available to them. So the existing mechanics don't even need to be overhauled. It's all about flexibility and fostering in the compatibility that we really need with the broader Cosmos ecosystem. One of the biggest benefits of this shift is the fact that wallets, centralized exchanges, DApps, they're not going to need to make any major changes. We need to think about that for a second, okay? We can implement this burn tax overhaul without forcing the entire ecosystem to simply adapt overnight. In fact, from my perspective, when we look at DApps from foreign Cosmos ecosystems, they'll likely be able to deploy on LUNC without making any considerable changes. This is absolutely crucial, and I can't emphasize that enough when we're trying to attract new projects to our blockchain. Effectively, we're making LUNC far more compatible with the broader Cosmos ecosystem, as I've mentioned, which in turn, again, is making us more appealing to outside developers, DApp creators, projects, meme coins, you name it. They're probably going to be more interested. They're going to be able to possibly deploy in a manner which is relatively simple for them. So this change also solves one of the most frustrating issues in our current burn tax system, and that's the double and multi-taxation layers. Right now, when we look at contracts that move funds across multiple layers of interactions, it triggers taxes at every single step. And this is why it adds this unnecessary complexity of costs, especially for complex dApps or contract-based transactions like White Whale and Backbone Labs. By shifting the tax to the recipient's side, this problem just disappears. The tax is only paid once. When the funds reach the final wallet's destination, that's it. This is a major step towards making LUNC's ecosystem far more efficient, user-friendly, flexible, and highly compatible with the broader Cosmos ecosystem. While everybody else is out setting fires, creating drama, and effectively playing the blame game, we're here and we're providing solutions. And there's a huge benefit, not just with the burn tax structure, but with tax to gas, the mechanism that we've been debating for months on end. This is going to become unnecessary, void, and redundant. With the new recipient side burn tax structure that we've discussed, any of these concerns raised around tax to gas are effectively eliminated, along with that substantial paycheck that was to go out. So the chain has saved itself a considerable amount of money. So when we actually take a step back and look at what is going to be the end result of this new burn tax structure, we're looking at the simplification of the entire blockchain. Not only are we creating a cleaner and more efficient environment for developers and dApps to operate within, we're also opening ourselves up for compatibility with the broader Cosmos ecosystem, something that everyone on LUNC has been chasing for a long time. This alone is a massive win for the entire ecosystem. One of the key questions that always comes up whenever we talk about burn tax changes is what happens to the burn mechanics, what's the wider implications, and what will happen to the Binance Lunc burns. And what I want to do is reassure everybody that the burn mechanics and the tax distribution will remain the same. We're not changing how much LUNC is going to get burned or how it's going to get distributed. This is simply a change in how and when the burn tax is applied. It's a technical improvement. It's not a shift in the overall strategy of reducing the LUNC supply. When we look at the already whitelisted wallets like Binance's internal wallets, they will remain whitelisted. There's going to be absolutely no risk of disrupting our partnerships or burning initiatives with Binance. In fact, the new system actually opens up a door for an improved whitelisting implementation where governance can have more fine-grained control over which dApps or entities are actually whitelisted in the future. Again, this is going to allow us to tailor the ecosystem even more to the community's current needs, putting more control back into the decentralized part of Luna Classic. We need to look at the potential this has for attracting new projects, dApps, people, developers, holders, investors. Just by simplifying the tax structure, again, we're making it all developer friendly. We're creating an environment where major projects like White Whale and Backbone Labs might actually consider coming over to Terra Classic like they initially wanted to. We've all heard how important it is to attract these major whales, these serious dApps and huge development teams that are out there. This new burn tax structure removes the barriers that have kept a lot of these things at bay. With the friction removed, right, LUNC could in fact become a prime destination for projects, dApps, developers, investors, whales that want to come here and possibly make some money or want to contribute to the ecosystem whilst also benefiting from the burn mechanism and not being punished by it. This isn't just a technical upgrade. It's about unlocking the next era for LUNC by solving the burn tax dilemma and removing the barriers to entry. We create a clear path for the future. Not only do we preserve our burn initiative, but we also foster an ecosystem that's far more attractive to these developers, projects, and whales. Let's not forget, again, the tax to gas situation becomes completely obsolete. We'll be saving time, resources, and again, we can spend that time on other things that are more addressing more important issues on chain, like enhancing further interoperability, maybe working on IBC channels, trying to correct Astroport fork it so we've got our own native version of that. Working on the removal of all of these forked modules through the partnerships with Orbit Labs is going to be absolutely huge, and it's just again the next step in getting Lunar Classic to where it needs to be. So what's next? Well, from my perspective, we need to be actionable. We need to have achievable plans that we can outline to the community and we can actually see them out. The community is in control of this blockchain because you yourselves choose to delegate with validators that you trust to make decisions on your behalf. And if you don't agree with their decision, you'll go ahead and vote yourself. And these are all of the interesting mechanics that we have in decentralization. It's really time to make a decision that unlocks growth while maintaining our core mission, which is to burn LUNC and reduce the supply that we inherited from the crash. This new structure is the Goldilocks solution from my perspective. It's not too complex, it's not too simplistic, it's just right. The LUNC community has a rather unique opportunity in front of it where it really gets to hit three birds with one stone. Again, I want to emphasize the fact that by shifting the burn tax to the recipient side, we again solve one of the most persistent issues on our blockchain. This change will allow us to grow, it will allow us to innovate, and it will allow us to create more inviting environments for developers. Again, while preserving the all-important burn initiatives, not upsetting Binance, and not tipping the scales of decentralization. I really think we're at a point where we need to move forward with confidence because, again, the power is in our hands to make the right choices for the future of Terra Classic. I'm ready, Strafe's ready. Let's make this happen through governance, and then let's watch LUNC thrive like never before. To me, the path is clear and the time is now. But guys, let me know what you think about this new tax structure. Do you think it's a positive for LUNC or do you think it's a negative for LUNC? Keep an eye on us over the next few weeks. We are hopefully going to be dropping the LUNCDash mobile app, and this is going to be a situation where we want LUNC to have native assets that it can rely on so it's got a sustainable and stable future going forward, and it has access to all of the tools that it's going to need for its current holders, new holders, and validators. And guys, aside that, stay safe, stay humble, stay aware, and as always, we'll catch you in the next one.